We're back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about level counts and how you can trade in line with the market makers using the market maker cycle. Alright, so for today's video, I've made it easy for you guys. I've got a checklist that I prepared for this video, and I've kept it very simple. Right, so for those people who have an idea of the market maker cycle, this is basically a 3-level cycle where we have the peak formation. Right, these peak formations can come through as an M, right? It can also come through as a W, right, if it's on the other side. Right, so starts with the peak formation, then we have one level of drop, another level of drop, and then the third level of drop. And on the third level, we expect to see a reversal. Right, so as you can see right here, on this chart right here, we've got supply. Right, at supply, this is where we wait for level 3 peaks, right, and we look for shorts only. So we are not looking to buy, right? We are not looking to buy around those areas. So we need to understand our structure and understand where our supply zones are. Right, so as you can see, what we have right here, after the peak formation, we can see another level of rise. Right, a second level of rise, but as you can see, this is 1 day of rise. Right, these demarcations here, right, are for days. Right, so for this example, I used days, but remember, this can be used or can be seen in any time frame, be it your daily, be it your weekly or monthly. All right, so we can identify 2 levels of rise from this peak formation. Right, this is within 1 day, so that is 1 day of rise. All right, so these are variations to the cycle. Some days, right, we can identify a level of drop, another level of drop, and then the last level of drop, right? But there's variations. And some days it can be pushes, right? It can be 3 pushes, but that represents 1 level of rise in this case, right? And as you can see, we can identify another day of rise, and then we identify the last day of rise. All right, so with this checklist right here, what we're going to look for is very simple. Right, as you can see, the first thing that we want to understand is where is price coming from. Right, that's one thing you really need to understand before you open up any chart or before you think of trading anything. Right, understand where price is coming from. Is your price coming from demand, or is your price coming from supply? If your price is coming from supply, right, it means you're looking for shorts. Right, and you want to understand the level, right, so you can trade in line with the cycle. The cycle is very simple. Right, if it's on the buy side, peak formation, a level of rise, another level of rise, and then the last level of rise. Right, this can be seen within a day. Right, in this example, these demarcations represents days. All right, it can also be seen within a monthly time frame, weekly time frame, or the H1 time frame. Right, so you want to understand where price is coming from. Right, so same thing applies for the demand. Right, is price coming from demand? Right, then you know exactly where to look for your buys. All right, now the second thing you want to ask yourself is, does market structure make sense? Right, is the market structure making sense? Right, are we really in a down phase? Right, in this case, as you can see, we've got price moving from demand. Right, remember, as the price is moving low, we've got a lower low right here, and this is a lower high. Right, and what we can identify here on this push is price breaks that structure. So this, from being a lower high, this becomes a higher high. Right, and as we move, you need to understand, right, the structure. Right, you need to understand the structure. Where is the structure in line, right, with what you want to trade? So that's very important. Right, and then, is this the correct time to trade? Remember, I always say on our videos that we trade London and New York session. Right, I do trade Asian sometimes, but trust me, most of my trades, I mean 98% of my trades, a London session trades in New York, right? So I don't really trade around that time, right? So you need to ask yourself that, right? Is this the correct time to trade, right? So I wouldn't really want to take, a lot of trades during Asian, because this is the manipulation session, right? All right, now the fourth thing I want to ask myself is there an inducement in sight? Yes or no, right? When we talk about inducements, right, if you can take it to the charts, let me just get rid of this. Sorry about that. Let me just clear this out. All right. If we talk about inducement, we talk about stop hunts, right? If you go to the M15, right, we're looking for stop hunts, remember? We want to identify stop hunts, right? We want to see these types of stop hunts, right? These are stop hunts, right? When we are looking to enter our trades, these types. These are what we call stop hunts, right? Above the Asian range, above or below the Asian range, right? These are stop hunts. As you can see, how price moves away, right? We're looking for these stop hunts. So that's one thing you have to ask yourself: is there an inducement inside? Yes or no? All right. Now this checklist will make it easy for you to take high probability trades. All right. And then the first thing you want to ask yourself is there a second leg element? All right. So basically you want to ask yourself, what do I have? Is price at supply? All right. Price has pushed up into the supply. All right. We've got the first leg. Okay. So, before you do anything, right, you need to, stick to specific trades that you take, the peaks, right? So you have to know what you have to wait for, right? So if you're a one leg trader, then you have to have rules for that. But in this case, I like taking, second leg trades, right? The probability on this and the accuracy is more, right? So is there a second leg element, meaning I want to see another move to that area, right? You have to ask yourself that. Is price at a decision point? Is price at a supply area? In this case, a decision point can be, this is a drop, base, drop. All right, so price is back at this area, right? You need to ask yourself, is this a decision point? Is this a base area? Is this, is this an order block? And then, of course, we look at our candlestick confirmations, right? Very, very important. Candlestick confirmations, we'll look more on the charts when we move over. And then we ask ourselves, do we have a close above the 13 EMA? I'll show you more on that on the charts, and then you enter your trades, right? So just by understanding this, if we look at your GBP, not really going far, we can identify something here. As you can see, not going too far. All right, we can identify 3 levels of push, right? So we've got level 1, got level 2, and we have level 3. Right, and in that same week, as you can see, we had a reversal, and we can also identify level 1, level 2, and then the third push, price getting back to demand and price moving back up. Right, we can identify a push. This is a peak formation, right? A second leg element, peak formation, level 1 into a consolidation, level 2, and then last push giving us a peak. Right, so just by understanding this, right, this makes it very easy for you. So if you went to your H1 right here, this is what you'd see, right? If we take it to the M15, so we can look at the stop hunts more, this is what you'd have, right? As you can see right here, what we had price coming off this 800 EMA, right? Remember, you already understand that this is a peak formation. As you can see, this took a couple of days, right? This took a couple of days to form, but as you can see, we had a nice stop hunt above, right? Also giving us 3 pushes in there, 1, 2, 3, hitting the stops. As you can see, this was the previous day high, right here, previous day high. So that was our peak, formed part of our peak. So remember, once we understand the peak formation, right, in this case, once we understand the peak formation, if it's a sell, what we want to see the next day is we want to see the Asian session, right, and we want to see a stop hunt above, and we want to look for opportunities to sell around this area, right, in line with the cycle. So if we have a peak already, we already know what we can wait for the next day or for the coming days. Right, so this can be a 3-day cycle, 3-week cycle, 3-month cycle, 3-year cycle, right? So if we go back to the charts, all right, just by understanding that, this is what we had. We had a peak formation, right, at this area, and then we had another trade the next day. Are we expecting this the next day? Yes, because this is in line with the cycle, right? Coming from, right, as you can see, price is coming from supply, right? We have a peak formation, right? So price is coming from supply, meaning we are looking for shorts, right? Okay, cool. Does the market structure make sense? So if we look at the market structure in this case, we just take it back to the H1. What we can identify is, as price was pushing up, we had this structure here, right, which was broken. As you can see, we had a structure breaker right about at this area, and price pushed back to our supply. So price was still playing around the supply, but if you understand order blocks, right, it will become very easy for you to trade this. And we can also identify equal highs right here with a nice trap, right, with a nice trap right at that area. Okay, so if we get back to the M15, all right, this is what we can see on the next day. All right, is this the correct time to trade? So market structure in this case did make sense, right? Is this the correct time to trade? Yes, right? Because if you're looking for the trade the next day, you've let Asian session play. Now you're looking into trading London. You can see the stop hunt above the Asian session, right? So this is definitely the correct time to trade. Is there an inducement inside? Yes, this is an inducement right here, right? This is an inducement above the Asian range. Right, okay. Is there a second leg element? In this case, there was no second leg element, but as you can see, this was a drop, base drop, so this was an order block. Right, this right here was an order block. Right, so if you are a first leg trader, that was actually a nice opportunity for you. All right, so is price at a decision point? Yes, price was at a decision point. As you can see, this is a supply area, right, and then price continued dropping. And then candlestick confirmation. Did we have any candlestick confirmation? Yes, we had an engulfing pattern right there. Sorry about that. Right there, right, we had an engulfing pattern. Okay, and then candlestick, is there a close up below the 13 EMA? In this case, the 13 EMA is the red EMA. As you can see at this red EMA, so we wait for a close below that 13 EMA, and as you can see, this trade continued moving the next day, right? So you can use this as a good checklist. You do need a checklist, guys. You cannot just roam on the charts and, you know, press buy and sell, right? You need a checklist so you can trade professionally. All right, so the next day, remember now this is another day of drop. The next day, what do we have? Right, remember this is your Asian session, right? Nothing really happened. Remember, we are looking for a stop hunt above, nothing below. So as you can see, the dealer did pick up some, you know, stops down there, as that was the previous day low, right? And here's our stop hunt right above this area. Now, where is price coming from? We understand where price is coming from, right? We understand that this is our decision point because price is held and price is moving away from that, and we are trading the market maker cycle, right? Does market structure make sense? Yes. I mean, this is our lower high and this is a nice area. All right. Is this the correct time to trade? Yes, this was after Asian session, a bit late towards New York, right? As you can see, went above that area, right? Is there an inducement inside? Yes, we have this inducement above the Asian session range, right? Is there a second leg element? Yes, we did, right? Not really clean, but it was okay, all right? Is there a second leg element? Okay, that's fine. Is price at a decision point? Yes, as you can see, this is a rally base drop, so this is a supply area where price actually went back to, right? And then candlestick confirmation, we do have a close below the 13 EMA, as you can see, close below 13 EMA. The candle was a bit big, right? Candle was a bit big, but you can use the 50% as an entry, right? As you can see, that moved the next day, right? And then we had 3 hits to the high on the next day, and then same thing happened, right? So if we understand the cycle, if we understand where price is coming from and where price is heading, it will be easy for us to actually trade the market maker cycle. The problem with a lot of people is you guys just want to trade this everywhere, right? you're just looking for it everywhere. And the sad thing about it is you see these setups happening, but you can't just get it right. These are some of the things, right? So it applies everywhere, guys. As long as if you understand the cycle and understand where price is going, it'll be very easy for you to take trades, right? Also understanding your market structure and the variations to it, because in this case, here's another example, right, of the variations. If you already know that price is coming from supply, and we're expecting stop hunts, look at what happened right here. Not really a stop hunt. Price didn't really continue going down. It went above. That can be your first leg. Is there a second leg element? This second leg element happened the next day. Happened the next day. All right. But the timing was a bit off there. But these are variations that the dealer can give you, right? As you're trading this. So the trick in this is being very selective. You don't have to trade every pair that's on the market, right? You don't have to. You just have to be very selective in what you're looking for, right? Know what you're looking for and know the rules to what you're looking for. It'll be very easy for you to trade that way, right? Or else you're just gonna become random and not really understand what you're doing, and that only leads to you blowing an account, right? But yes, guys, I hope you learned something from this video. But as you can see, this plays out everywhere. As you can see, this is level 1, this is level 2, and this is level 3. We've got a peak, right? Second leg element. Once we have a second leg element, we know what we are waiting for the next day. Was there an inducement? Yes, there we go. There was an inducement inside. All right, price gave a rise. The next day, was the inducement? Yes, there was an inducement. Price went up. All right, even today, okay, this was yesterday, there was an inducement. Nothing too much though, nothing really happened there. But these things are there in the market. So you using a checklist makes it very easy for you to know what you're doing. All right, guys, if you learned something from this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment. If you have questions, drop them. We'll actually answer them on our next video.